welcome to tonight's Kat's Cooking Corner. So we're very happy to have Kat today, who's going to be doing another one of her tutorials with us. So we'll be cooking along and having a lot of fun. And of course, Kat's always a joy to be around. So I'll pass it off to Kat now.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining. Today we are making spaghetti carbonara with chicken. So there's chicken and there's bacon in this recipe. If you prefer to eat vegetarian, please feel free to just remove them or add in your substitution of choice. So I'll just start off by giving a quick little show around of all of our ingredients today. Sorry about the delay there, guys. So we have our bacon, we have our parsley, we have our garlic, we have our eggs, we have our handy dandy Parmigiano Reggiano, our spaghetti, and our chicken. Now, I am going to be actually doubling / tripling the recipe because my family has requested that I make this for dinner tonight. So just follow along and let's have some fun. So let me just get all set up. So what we're going to be starting off with doing is seasoning our chicken breast and cooking our chicken. After we're done cooking our chicken, we'll remove it from the pot, and in the same pot, we'll cook our bacon. While our bacon is cooking, we will boil our pasta, and then we will add our pasta directly into the pot with the bacon. So all of that rendered fat, all of that gorgeous deliciousness, that will be right in our bacon, or right in our pasta, I should say. So if anyone has any questions, please just shout out and let me know. And without further ado, let's get started. I will just move my station to the side. So like I said, make this your own, and whatever you would like to add, please add. Whatever you would not like to add, it's all your preference. So today, the way I'm going to season the chicken is with salt, paprika, garlic powder. My dad calls it Old Faithful, chili powder, and a little bit of dried parsley. We have our fresh parsley for the pasta, but I'm going to do dried parsley on the chicken. So I never really measure when it comes to spices, but I would say approximately half a teaspoon for all of the spices, except for the salt. I would do maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon to 1/2 a teaspoon, however you prefer it. So I'm just going to start off with seasoning the first side of my chicken and the second. Now I've already washed my hands, but if you haven't already done so, please go ahead and wash your hands. It is washing hands season. And please feel free to chat, ladies. You know, I mean, I'm going to be half watching what I'm doing and half watching what you're doing. So like I said, if you have any questions, do not hesitate. So I'm going to start off with some salt. Just a generous sprinkle, not too much. Next up is paprika. I would usually just take the paprika and go like this and shake it over the chicken. But today, since I'm on camera, I won't, and I will go like this. So paprika. I personally like really flavored chicken. Oh, we have a chat. My brother is learning how to use a knife, haha. Well, that's good. Tell him he can cook for you. So after paprika, I'm gonna add some of Old Faithful, AKA garlic powder. Just a generous sprinkle. Chili powder. Chili powder, I'm gonna do my usual way. And what this will do is when you cut it up and add it to the pasta, it will add kind of a natural kick, but without having to add any extra spices to the pasta. So it won't be overpowering. This is what my chicken looks like so far. I'm using chicken thighs, but you can use whatever you like. Next, I'm going to quickly massage it in. So you're just pressing in your spices to all of the little cracks and crevasses of your meat. And once I think I've done a good job, I'm going to flip all of my pieces of chicken. And then I'm immediately going to go wash my hands because we are not about the life of cross-contamination. So don't touch anything else if you've touched raw chicken breast with your hands, or if raw chicken breast has touched a plate or a cutting board, make sure that you rinse it very well with hot and soapy water, and then put it into your dishwasher. So I will be right back. Take your time, Angela, take your time. Take your time, guys, work at your own pace. But I'm just gonna go ahead and season the other side of my chicken breast, and then I will wait for everyone to catch up. So once again, salt, paprika. I'll use a spoon because I'm on camera for this one. My mom is very sensitive to spice. She doesn't like a lot of spice, so sometimes she doesn't get to enjoy the meals that I make. Old Faithful, aka garlic powder. Chili powder. And last but not least, parsley. Now, usually I would add pepper. However, both of my pepper shakers are out and I'm completely out of peppercorn. So I think that the holy trinity for my spices when I'm cooking is salt, pepper, and garlic powder. So in my personal opinion, they can go well with almost any flavor, not all, but almost. And that's what I keep in my kitchen at all times. What has been the highlight of everyone's summer so far? Feel free to comment in the chat or feel free to speak up on your microphone. Hello, Andrew.
Hello, hello.
We're gonna have a guest appearance from my brother. Wait, oh, the camera's there.
What are you making?
Carbonara, spaghetti carbonara, same as I made for Mom and Dad's anniversary. Sounds good. You hear that? Great feedback. Daily mass. Aww. That is so nice. What time do you usually tune in? Because I mean, my church is closed still. And I'm just gonna go ahead and wash my hands once again, get all that chicken off there, using my wrist to turn on the tap. Just dry off my hands. So I will wait for everyone to catch up, and I'll just turn the camera right here till everyone's up. Let me bring my thing over, time to read. Okay, let's see. 7:45, oh nice. Oh, did not know that. Going up to the Abbey. Is that, that's where Augustino went, correct? Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Do you know, you may know the answer to this, someone in the chat actually. Are you able to send letters to the Abbey? Yeah, okay, good, 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 good. Because I want to send Augustino his alumni pin. My refreshment of the evening is Trilogy Kombucha. I love kombucha. I think that it's a lot of caffeine, but it's natural caffeine. And it's a bit better than coffee for me personally. I would drink it all the time in the library when I had papers to write or exams to study for. So if you haven't tried kombucha, it's a bit of an acquired taste, kind of tastes a bit vinegary, but it's delicious. Let me read the chat. Tastes like vinegar, but delicious kind of vinegar with fruity undertones. Aubrey, I think you'll appreciate this, but I actually learned how to properly taste wine on TikTok the other day. And I thought that I knew how to do it because I had heard about it from some friends who went to a professional wine tasting with a sommelier, but I was doing it incorrectly. How's everyone doing for time? Are we, Angela, excuse me, ready to go? Rachel, are you ready to go? Yeah? Okay. So I am going to be cooking my chicken in the same pot that I'm cooking my bacon in. Now, with that being said, that's also the same pot that we're going to be making our pasta sauce in. So it should be a decently big pot. I will show you the pot that I'm using. You don't have to cook your chicken in the same pot, but I would recommend cooking your bacon in the same pot as what you'll be using your pasta for. Does that make sense for everyone? Okay, let me just adjust the tripod. Can everyone see that okay? Yes? Okay, great. So I am gonna turn my pot / pan onto a medium-high heat. I'm personally gonna go for 6, but you know, whatever you find works best for your, for your stove. Sorry guys, just kind of fiddling a bit. Maybe I'll do it like this actually. Is that a bit better? Angela, do you think that is that an okay angle or was better before? Good? Okay, wonderful. So my pan / pot is reheating. And like I said, using a decently big pot. Now the tools that you will need for cooking your chicken are number 1, a spatula, and number 2, some sort of tongs. Now, my mom gets very angry with me if I use a metal spatula on a non-stick pan or pot. So just make sure, it's usually pretty easy to tell because it'll look like a glossy finish and it's not usually metal. So I will be using my metal spatula for this pot, and I will be also using the other tool that you'll need is tongs. So I have 2 pairs of tongs. I'm going to be using the metal to lay the chicken breast down in the pot, and I'm going to be using my glue to transfer the pasta over to the pot once it's cooked and also mix my pasta. So if you only have one pair of tongs, not to worry at all. What I will recommend is wash them very well after you're completed cooking the chicken. So we're still warming up. I find that my stove takes a bit of time. That's okay, good things take time. My chicken breast is right there, all ready to go. How did other people season their chicken breast? And yes, Rachel, kombucha kind of tastes similar to the apple cider vinegar. When I'm cooking, I always keep a cloth nearby so that I can quickly just clean as I go. Clean as you go is actually a term that was coined or made popular, I should say, by Martha Stewart. And it is something that my mom adopted and instilled in her children. So it seems like we're getting there. Not quite, but when the pan is hot enough, I will teach you all a trick to figuring out whether your pan is ready. It's almost ready. Doo-doo-doo. Hi, Dad.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Going on to film off the wall.
He just mouthed to me, I'm hungry.
I am loving.
Love it, love it. Okay, so I think that my pan is almost ready, but what you can do to test is take a little bit of water, dip your fingers in there, and kind of splash it on the pan. And if you hear a sizzle and watch the beads kind of dance along the top of the surface of the water, you're ready. So if you're ready for some sizzle, everyone watch closely. 1, 2, 3. So my pan is ready to go. I'm actually going to turn my pan down to about 5, just because I think that it'll cook more evenly that way. So next, what you're going to do is you're going to take your olive or your oil of choice. I'm using Basil. I believe that it is, yes, sunflower and canola oil. So it's a mix between the two. And then you're going to pour approximately 3 tablespoons onto your pan or into your pot. But if you like it a bit more oily, or if you want your chicken to be a bit more crispy, feel free to add a bit more. Am I okay to start cooking the chicken? Yeah, Angela, all good? Wonderful. All right, let's get started. So there's my pan, there's my chicken. So that's it reacting with a little bit of water left in there. So it is a bit hot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just take it off the heat for a little bit, a couple of seconds, and I'm going to turn this down. I'm also just going to give this a quick wipe, just in case there's any food staked on there. Now be very careful when using pans and whatnot. And also what I'm going to grab, this is optional, is a grease catcher. It looks like this, and you can put it on top of anything that you're cooking when you're using oil. So I use this often for bacon or anything that might kind of spray up, because I don't want to get oil all over myself. So chicken back on, or pot back on. Got my tongs. And if your chicken has skin, you're going to want to lay it skin side down and always lay away from you. So I'll just give a demonstration. Lay away. You want to hear that sizzling sound because that is telling you that your pot is hot enough. Second one, lay away. Third, lay away. Fourth, lay away. Fifth, lay away. And I am going to add my 6th. I'm using chicken thighs. I think I mentioned that. Now your chicken is going to cook for approximately 4 minutes, anywhere from 4 to 6 minutes, depending on the thickness. What I'm going to do right now is give this a quick rinse with soapy hot water, and then I'm going to put it directly into the dishwasher. So I will be right back. Set timer for 4 minutes. There we go. So what has everyone been doing lately to stay busy in quarantine? Feel free to unmute your mics and we can kind of chat at this point. Whenever you're done with your chicken, just putting it down.
I've been baking. Oh, here, I'll turn on my video. I've been baking.
What did you made the cookies again?
Yeah, I did bake the cookies again. I doubled the recipe.
Awesome.
Yeah, because, you know, you can't have enough.
Nope, you can't.
Yeah, you really can't. It just like goes just like that. Like I literally ate one, and then the rest of my family ate it all. It was funny.
I'm making the cookies again on Thursday night. I'll just move this over.
Nice.
Because Thursday is actually Joanne, my boss's birthday, and Friday. So I'm baking them on Thursday night, and so I've organized a little surprise with our team that we're gonna get her a little gift. So I've been busy kind of navigating with the e-transfers and just keeping track of that stuff and whatnot. I also got her a card, so I have to get everyone's messages, happy birthday messages. And then lastly, what I'm doing is I scheduled our weekly meeting to be on Friday, the day of her birthday. But what she doesn't know is that before we do our weekly meeting, the whole team will be on the Zoom call to wish her happy birthday. So I had to coordinate with Emily to schedule it around little sweet Audrey's nap time. But her and Emmanuel and Audrey and Emily, I should say, are all going to be joining us. So I'm making the cookies for Joanne because they're her absolute favorite. And I know that she misses them.
That's so sweet. We love surprise birthday parties.
I know, right? I've never had a surprise birthday party for myself, but I'm usually pretty good at finding out surprises. So that's probably why.
Yeah. Probably, yeah. You're probably hard to surprise. That's why.
Have you ever had a surprise party?
Yes, I have. I'm very oblivious, so I make it really easy.
I love it.
What did they do for that?
So one of them was they actually left a note on my door because we were actually going to eat out that day. And so they sent me on this like wild goose chase, I guess a scavenger hunt.
Aww.
And then at the end, when I made it to the place, there was like a surprise. It was really sweet.
That's so cute.
Yeah, they told me I had to vlog the whole thing.
We love a thoughtful birthday party.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
Angela, has anyone ever surprised you for your birthday? Oh.
Angela's busy chefing it up.
Too focused. How about you, Rachel? Anybody surprise you?
No, I'm not that loved. Okay, Jordan, chill. Oh, my brothers are making fun of me now. No, I just do things with my family or like with a small group of friends, and they always plan it like 2 weeks in advance because they know that I don't like last minute plans.
Yeah, okay, valid point.
Well, they did try to surprise me, and then I said I wasn't coming, and they're like, "Hey, you need to come." I'm like, "Oh, not you." And like, it was they wanted to do like a hangout, and I didn't know it was a surprise, and I said I wasn't coming, and then they all got scared, and then they told me, so then it was no longer a surprise.
Rachel, you're ruining plans left and right.
I know. Oh man, it's fine.
So I'll just quickly interrupt and I'll let you know that my timer just went for about 4 minutes on the chicken, but I will show you what it looks like. That's not done enough for me, so I'm going to ask Siri to add set timer for 1 minute. So I'll also show you how to check whether your chicken is fully cooked or not after you're done. Aubrey, what's your favorite food? I remember you told me, but I can't quite remember.
I don't remember what I put. I really do like food, so
Yeah.
I want to say like Korean barbecue. I've just been obsessed with that recently. I've been hanging out with like the seminarians at my church.
Yeah.
And we've been going to Korean barbecue.
Yeah. Where do you usually go? Because I've never been.
You've never been? Okay, well, it like depends what I'm feeling, but we recently found this kind of like underrated place. It's called Gangnam Korean Barbecue. It's in Richmond. It's a very small place. Not a lot of people go there because they usually go to the one in Aberdeen, which is called Sura. That one's really popular. There's always a big lineup. But to be honest, I think Gangnam is better. So.
Got it. Well, I will definitely have to go there when COVID is all done. Also, is my chicken really loud? No? Okay, well, it's almost done. So my timer just went for a minute. I am going to flip my chicken. I'll just show you what it looks like. We want it to look partially white underneath and then a little bit pink on top. So I'm going to go ahead and flip, once again laying away. And as you can see, my chicken has a beautiful crust on it. That timer for 4 minutes. Okay, everyone. So the timer went on my chicken. It should be done or almost done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to cut into the chicken at the thickest point of the thickest piece. And I'm going to open it up and see if it's fully cooked. So if you're using chicken breast, you don't want to see any pink. You want your chicken to be a nice, juicy white color. However, if you're using a chicken thigh, like myself, the chicken is naturally darker meat. So you still don't want to see any sort of dark pink color. So I will turn the camera over and we will see how my chicken did. Going to use my tongs to steady. And I'll just cut it right in half. So my chicken is perfectly cooked. So what I'm going to do is turn it off, turn off the elements, and then I'm going to transfer it to a plate. So there's my chicken. I'm going to put it off to the side. And before we get started on our bacon, if you look in the pot, this is delicious flavor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my spatula and just kind of start to go like this. and just to kind of scrape some off and loosen it a bit. Because the bacon will cook a lot faster than the chicken, and the bacon fat will help to add more flavor, but also help to create more of these little bits of flavor at the bottom. I'm totally blanking on the name, but if someone can Google it for me, maybe Aubrey, that would be greatly appreciated. I know there's a fancy chef's name. So I will just wait for everyone to finish their chicken, and when everyone's done, just let me know. Feel free to unmute your mics. What I'm actually going to do, I changed my mind, is I'm going to just take a quick scoop, one big scoop of the good stuff in the pot, and just put it on the plate of the chicken because I don't want it to burn. Packed with flavor. So next, I'm going to turn my pan back on. I'm going to only turn it on to 5 because there's some residual heat left in the pan. And personally, when I'm cooking bacon, it cooks very fast on my stove. So fun fact, my mom, after she had my older brother, so after she had her first kid, her senses changed. So what I mean by that is that she became very sensitive to certain smells. One of them being bacon, hot dogs, anything like that, she just cannot stand the smell of. So her alternative is make the bacon in the microwave, but it's not nearly as good. So we found a common solution that if you light candles and put them near where you're cooking, it helps to get rid of the smell. And it adds a little ambiance. So I can feel my pan is hot enough. So I am going to take my bacon. I'm going to take my trusty dusty tongs, and just like the chicken, whoop, that's okay. Move that off to the side. Lay away. I like to cut my bacon in half before I cook it because I find that it cooks more even that way. So lay away. So similar to when I handled chicken, after I handled the bacon, I went and immediately rinsed off my hands with hot and soapy water. Just because we don't want to do any sort of cross-contamination that could risk getting anyone that we love sick. There's enough hazards in the world for that right now. And feel free to cook the bacon to your desired crisp level. I personally like bacon that's more on the crispy side, so I will cook my bacon for a little bit longer. But it all depends on how hot your stove is and whatnot. So I would recommend maybe 2-ish minutes per side, but it's all on your desired preference. All right, my bacon is ready to flip. And after you are done cooking your bacon, transfer it onto a piece of paper towel on a plate. So I will actually get that ready first. Once again, picking up and laying away. Tricky bacon, you guys. And I'm actually going to add some more slices now. Once again, lay away. and continue to cook. I'm gonna go wash my hands. So now is actually a good time to fill your pasta pot with water and a little bit of salt to make it taste like the ocean, and bring your water to a boil. So this is how big of a pot I'm using. I'll show you how much water I'm going to fill. I'm going to use maybe about half of the pot. I filled my water just over half, so you can see. And I will show you how much salt I like to add. Let me just put this down for one moment. If you talk to almost any Italian chef or watch any Italian kind of cooking show, they will add a generous amount of salt to their water. And the reason for doing this is that it infuses into the pasta, and the pasta is naturally flavored. Bye, Aubrey. Thanks for joining. So this is how much salt I will add. So make it taste like the ocean. Now I need to get back to my bacon that's burnt a little bit. Just gonna put you down. So as you can see, my second round of bacon is complete. I'm going to go and transfer that onto the paper towel plate. So the first batch was quite crispy, and these ones, in my opinion, are more perfect. So I'll show you a, won't focus, but that's okay. So while I'm waiting for my pasta to boil and for the remainder of my bacon to finish cooking, I'm actually going to go and I'm going to slice up my chicken breast. My chicken thighs, I should say. So those are my Cajun chicken thighs, and I'm gonna cut them up into bite-sized pieces, so maybe 2 inches, and I'm going to serve them separately on the side. So I was kind of thinking maybe I'll mix it in, but my little brother came in and he said that he wants them separate so that he can eat them first, because he likes to eat his favorite things first. So I will cut up the chicken breast and I will just shift around the camera. Chicken thigh. So I'm also going to choose my favorite chicken thigh for this photo. I think that it's going to be this one. So I'm going to cut it up, and I'll show you how I cut that one up. And I'm going to put it onto a separate plate. So there's my chicken. This. And I'm going to go ahead and just switch off my bacon. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to start at the small end. Actually, no, that's not a good idea. Start at the big end and immediately press down firmly so that you get a full cut through. Be mindful of your fingers. So if you want to place your hand like so, your knife will naturally go against your knuckles if you get too close, and you won't chop off the tip of your finger. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And a little fun technique is that you can take it all on your knife, like so, like that. And I will transfer it to a separate plate. Check on my bacon. Bacon's doing well. I'm going to remove it from the heat. And it's just finishing up cooking in the pot. So the heat is off, but the residual heat is going to finish cooking it. Actually, you know what? They're perfectly brown. I am going to take them off now. So how is everyone's water doing? Because my water is almost boiled. So if your water is almost boiled, then we can start with the sauce shortly. I'll just finish cutting up the chicken quickly. And feel free to unmute yourself and we can chat. So like I said, cutting them into about 1 inch or 2 inch pieces, that's a perfect size. What I love about chicken thighs is that they're much juicier than chicken breast. So oftentimes if you order a fried chicken sandwich, restaurants will use the thigh of the chicken rather than the breast because it's juicier. I've got a good crust on it too. And I was just not sure. So where are you ladies at with the recipe so far? Do you have more bacon to cook, or chicken can be cut up later? So I'll just wait for you to let me know. Please unmute yourself and tell me, because I'm just going to be rinsing this cutting board purely for aesthetic reasons.
Yeah, for me right now, I'm just finishing up some bacon, and my water is not being kind to me, and it's taking a long time to boil. But that is what
That's okay. That's okay. No worries. Keep me updated. Now, Angela, did you salt your water by any chance?
Yes, I did.
Okay. If you guys, do you guys want to keep your mics on for the remainder of the cooking?
Loud then.
Wait, is it kind
If
of
it
loud?
gets loud, then we can mute it if we want.
I think it's you.
Not sure. Can you guys hear me okay with the fan on?
Totally fine.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry if you heard my family in the background.
Oh, likewise. That's okay. So I am just gonna take my bacon and I'm gonna just break it up, but no rush. You can cut it up. I find it really oddly satisfying to break it up. So I'm just gonna be breaking it up into chunks about that big. And Rachel, how are you doing? Where are you at with your cooking?
Our pasta is almost done.
Okay. Oh, so you added your pasta. Awesome.
Dang, you're going fast,
Yeah.
girl. My water
Make
hasn't
sure
even
to-
boiled.
The chicken, so.
Before you, I'll just put my pasta on, but no rush, Angela. And before you drain your pasta, reserve 1 cup of the pasta water. So what I like to do is I like to take a mug and then just scoop it in and keep that pasta water because chefs will call it liquid gold. Today I am using spaghetti. My favorite pasta is actually spaghettini, which is a thinner noodle of spaghetti variety. So now I'm gonna set my pasta timer for 7 minutes because I like to have my pasta al dente. Al dente means with bone. So there's a little bit of a crunch inside, but it's cooked well enough. So set timer for 7 minutes. This is the pot that has the bacon fat left over in it. Now I'm gonna keep some, but I'm also gonna scoop some into and leave some in the pot for my sauce. Feel free to take all of it out or to keep some. It's whatever your personal preference is. My family really likes it when I use all of the bacon fat in this recipe. However, I'm trying to be a bit more health conscious. But I have heard chefs refer to it as liquid gold, so I think a little bit will stay. that's probably enough. So I probably reserved, taken away about 6 tablespoons. Pasta's coming to come. We're nearly finished. This is the plate that I will be using to plate my pasta on. How much time is left on the timer? 1 minute and 32 seconds left. Now we're gonna move on to the sauce. So first of all, my pasta is done. I'm going to quickly reserve a cup of pasta water. Actually, I'll wait to do that. So the recipe calls for 2 eggs, but since I am adapting it because I am cooking for more people, I'm going to adapt it to 3 whole eggs, and then 1 egg yolk. So you can go ahead, crack your eggs into your bowl. You're gonna wanna choose a bowl that's pretty big because the sauce will be pretty thick and you wanna have room to whisk your eggs. So that's 2, 3, then I'll show you how to separate the egg whites and the egg shells. Crack it, open it, and then you just want to transfer the yolk back and forth till you get rid of all of the albumin is the technical name. So now I'm adding my final yolk in. I'll get rid of the mess. Remember, if you can, clean as you go. Just give my hand a quick wash. And then you're going to break your yolks and then whisk very vigorously. You want this to be thick and fluffy. So whisk it for a while. This might be a good chance to get your brother involved. Make him earn his dinner. So my eggs look pretty well mixed. And I'm going to take my Parmesan cheese. It's actually technically called Parmigiano Reggiano. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reserve a handful, maybe about this much, as a topping. So this is my topping plate, and pretty self-explanatory to what it is. So next, I am going to add all of my Parmesan cheese into the egg mixture, as well as, since I am creating the recipe, as I am doubling the recipe and whatnot, I'm going to add some cheddar cheese. If you want your pasta to be more cheesy, add more cheese. Listen to your heart, not to the recipe. And you know what? I'm actually gonna add another egg into mine. So I will have total 4 eggs, 1 egg yolk. I've made this enough times that I know the consistency of the sauce. So now we're going to mix that really well in together. And then what you're going to do is take your reserve pasta water, aka your liquid gold. I just need to do mine. One moment. And I am going to add it 1/3 cup at a time. So you can see that it's very opaque and cloudy. So that is the starch that has come up off the pasta. And this will help to emulsify the sauce. So I'm going to just add it right in. And you want maybe about anywhere from 1 cup to 1/2 cup, depending on how thick your sauce is. The more pasta water you add, the less thick your sauce will be, but also it will come together and be very creamy. So as you can see, those bubbles that are forming, that is a good sign. You like the bubbles. So I will keep my handy dandy measuring cup, put it off to the side, and I'm going to whisk this away. So that's probably a good amount of water. So I probably added 3/4 cup. It might be a bit too watery, but I can always burn it off later. So now what we're going to do is take our garlic. I think that the recipe calls for 4 cloves of garlic. Like I said, as you know, I am making the recipe for more people than the recipe calls for. So I'm going to thinly dice up my garlic. So you can go ahead and do that. So what you're going to do with the garlic, you have 2 options. Number 1, you can add it directly into your cheese sauce, or what you can do is you can start to heat your pan or your pot that you're going to be mixing the sauce into, and you can start to brown it up. So I'm going to turn my heat on low while I finish dicing up. So the low for me is 2. Did I just see Amy? Hi, Amy. How are you doing?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm glad you joined. You came at
I
the
love your
perfect time.
apron.
Thank you. It's my mom's. My mom always would cook with an apron growing up, and it's something that I really adopted into my cooking kind of
Getting your
mantra.
own apron is honestly the best feeling. It makes you feel like a professional at that point.
Right?
Until
I feel like
then,
Gordon
you're still
Ramsay.
learning.
Speaking of Gordon Ramsay, over quarantine, I got TikTok and became really addicted. And I follow this girl, I forget her name, but she basically posts very fit and healthy low carb recipes. And she posted a tutorial of how to make a sandwich, but instead of bread, she used a pepper. And then Gordon Ramsay duetted it with her and completely roasted her. It was actually very funny.
Gordon Ramsay on TikTok is absolutely phenomenal. His
Right?
videos are so good.
Yes, Amy.
He just
it's so good.
clowns on people. It's awesome. It's
Yeah.
nice because you watch other people get insulted and you're like, I am not the subject of this, so it is okay.
Nope. My favorite
Did your
line
dad
by
just
Gordon
twerk on the
Ramsay-
camera? Did
Yeah.
I just see that, Rachel?
I missed that.
Sorry.
Amy, how's your summer going?
It's going.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's going. I'm in 2 days, my term ends, and then I can sleep again.
What were you taking?
English 228. But
Who are you taking it with?
Cavalli. So I'm still getting
I
used to
love
how to
Cavalli.
write papers.
He
Which is good. He's an awesome prof. He
Yeah.
actually saved me big time yesterday, because if it ended up if worst came to worst, I and another student could have been expelled, but we're not, so it's okay. We're okay. Someone, I was helping someone in my class, and so I shared an old assignment with them to show them, like, here's what the outline should look like for this paper, but it was a completely different subject, like unrelated to this class. And he accidentally submitted that as his own. And so Cavalli was like, I'm pretty sure this is a mistake, but just so you know. Someone tried to upload it. And yeah, it was a total mistake. Like, he left my name on it and everything. So it wasn't as sketchy as it could have been. But if it wasn't Cavalli, it would have been way worse. So,
like an honest mistake.
Yeah.
Got it.
But if it wasn't Cavalli, that could have been taken horribly out of.
Definitely. That's you know what, a good story to get the old heart pumping, right?
Oh yeah.
So I am just
definitely
roughly
stress not needed. So.
Yeah, we don't need more stress in our lives. So Amy, we are making spaghetti carbonara with Cajun chicken, or chicken, however you like. So we are making the sauce. We're actually almost done, so you came at a really good time to see the final product. I am just roughly chopping up my parsley. And I'm adding it directly into my cheese sauce. This is my cheese sauce. And I'm going to, I personally like a lot of parsley. I think it adds a great color and great texture and great aromatics. So, of parsley for me. And Amy, what courses are you taking in the school year?
I'm taking Education 410, Theo 402, History 105, Geography 102, and Soci 210, or 203.
Which are you most excited for?
Probably theology. I didn't grow up Catholic, so it's always interesting for me just to learn more about the faith and how I can apply it. So that to me is like I'd say the newest. But all of them are just interesting because they're just so different. So it'll be
totally.
Yeah.
Have you taken Chaucer yet?
Not yet. I'm just going into my second year. So I'll take it next year.
Got it. And
my schedule's just a little whack.
I've heard that it's like you have to really buckle down. Like, I think it was another coffee chat that I tuned into, and John Sanglang was telling the girls that they should start studying now, which is funny. So I'm gonna just show you guys quickly. This is my delicious smelling garlic, and what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna shift this. Sorry guys, tripod issues. Back over to here. Put my pasta here. Can everyone see? I'm gonna go with yes. And I'm going to directly transfer my pasta into the pot that I'm gonna be cooking it in. So I probably made enough pasta to feed an army, but we love that. Give it a quick mix. So my pasta actually absorbed almost all of the water, which is good because it means that it will be nice and starchy, and the pasta sauce will emulsify very well. Get the last of my pasta. Rachel, Angela, what steps are you ladies at with your cooking? I can't really see.
Same one that you're at.
Awesome. So I forgot to add, actually, not quite done. So back to my sauce. Let me get this out of the way. I'm going to add some pepper, and I'm going to add some salt. Do it to your desired liking. I'm probably going to add about 8 shakes of, salt, and a lot of pepper, because carbonara actually means of the coal miner. So while the coal mines were a popular form of work back in the day, wives would make this pasta sauce for their husbands, and they would come home and the coal that was stuck to their face from their day of work would kind of brush off and go into the pasta, and you wouldn't know what was pepper and you wouldn't know what was coal. So of the coal miner is kind of where carbonara got its name. I'm gonna actually, there we go, mix it around. A little more salt. And I'm going to add my bacon into my sauce, and I'll just show you guys now. This is my garnishing tray. So I have a lot of bacon, I have some parsley, and then I have some Parmesan cheese. Also, my laptop might die, so this will be the only view, but that's okay. I'm gonna turn this heat down. Bacon in. One last mix, 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 mix. I love the colors in this. It reminds me of Thanksgiving for some reason. You know, the oranges of the cheese and the green of the parsley. Oh, it's just delicious. So now back onto the pot. Give this a quick little mix around. I am currently on 2 for heat, and I'm going to just move this over. Put it this way so you can see. And I'm going to dump my sauce all over my pasta. And then I'm going to grab a spatula, and I'm going to scrape out any remainder of the sauce. Great. Move this around. So next, I'm going to get really nice arm muscles like Michelle Obama and really vigorously stir in that sauce. You want your pasta sauce to emulsify, so you want it to become nice and creamy and completely have all the cheese melt down. So that was one of the tips of why we added the pasta water directly onto the cheese, was that the pasta water helps to melt the cheese. So rather than putting in your shreds, you can kind of tell, like, that was shredded cheddar cheese not too long ago, but that step really helps. So we are almost done, ladies and gentlemen. I am just going to give this a quick wipe, and then I'm going to plate. So what utensils you will need for plating is your trusty spoon, or sorry, your trusty tongs, and then a spoon of some sort. So my laptop just died, so that's okay. This is the spoon that I'm going to be using. Also, okay, good. If anyone has any questions, please just jump right in and stop me. So I'm going to have to quickly check the angle before I continue, because I cannot see on my laptop now. So let me just check one moment. All right, perfect. Good to go, Rachel? How are you doing?
Just mixing.
Good. Emulsify that sauce. So I'm gonna give it one more mix. And I want everyone to pay attention now, because this is a good tip that I learned from Gordon Ramsay, actually. So you're going to go into your pasta sauce. You're going to spin, oops, as many times as you can. Keep the clamps closed so you can't spin anymore. Add in your spoon. Keep the clamps closed once, like I said. Spin, 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 spin. And then directly transfer it gently onto your plate. Not only does this give your dish a professional vibe, but it also adds height to the pasta, which keeps the heat. So spin, 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 spin. Almost done. Transfer directly on top of your first spin. So to me, that looks pretty good. Now it's time to garnish. I'm going to just double check my camera, my viewing. Yes, looks great. So first of all, I'm going to add the chicken that we cooked earlier. Scoop it up with my hands, lay it flat on its side. So prop it against the pasta. Just spin so you can see. Oops, and if it falls down, just pick it right back up again. Press it in. Good. Now is the fun part, the garnishing. I'm going to start off with my bacon. Crumble it all over. Feel free to stick it in. Gives the dish some height and personality. I personally love bacon, so I'm going to add a lot of extra to mine. I think that looks good. Next up, we are going to do our Parmesan, and what I'm going to do is just lightly dust it on top. And I was going to use my cut up parsley, but I think instead what I'm going to do is just take a sprig and add it on top. So once that's done, I'm going to wash my hands. And then I'm going to take a napkin and clean up any shiny spots that we may have. So right over here, I don't want that green. Oh, just need some bacon fall. And right around here, you can see the grease from the chicken. I'm just going to go right in, clean it up. You can also use Q-tips if you really want, but this is, of course, purely for cosmetic reasons. But as many people know, or many people don't know, you eat with your eyes first. So that is, let me take this down. Where did my Zoom call go? There, one second, is my finished product.
Kat, that looks so good.
Good. I'm glad, you guys. I'm glad you enjoyed. I'm glad you enjoyed it.